Reminder before we begin, the Trippie Red review. Like you just saw, Night Owl Phase 3. Link in the description. My newest film, third chapter in the Night Owl series. Go check it out right now. Yeah, just go watch it because I've spent months on this. Anyway, now let's get to the review. Trippie Red. Hey, it's my old pal, Trippie Red. If anybody's watched this channel, you'd know I don't have the best pass to Trippie Red. Because I made the mistake of making Pegasus my first Trippie Red album and Neon Shark vs. Pegasus my second Trippie Red album. I didn't review Pegasus on its own, but it made a pretty hot spot, I think, in my top 5 worst albums of 2021, or no, of 2020. And then Neon Shark vs. Pegasus I reviewed when that came out, and it got its own special review where I called it awful and I gave it my lowest rating of F. I hated that album, and I still do. I'm sorry. I don't enjoy it whatsoever. I don't know why he did that. But when Trip at Night the rollout began and I heard tracks like Miss the Rage and Holy Smokes, I decided, I was like, you know what? Maybe old Trippie Red is good. I also heard that, for the first time I heard 1400 999 Freestyle, and I loved it. So I was like, okay, I got to check this out. So I listened to every single Trippie Red project that I had not heard yet. So that's every A Love Letter to You project, Life's a Trip, and exclamation mark. And I got to admit, I very much judge this guy. While I don't think either Pegasus album is good at all, I highly underrated him, and he truly does have some great mixtapes under his belt. Life's a Trip was so much fun, and A Love Letter to You 3 is one of the most fun trap mixtapes, and honestly one of the most fun trap albums, or just projects in general, I've ever heard. I had a blast with it. And overall, Trippie Red was just his whole discography. Damn, he proved it. He proved he was very good, very talented. So I got very excited for Trip at Night right before its release. I actually finished A Love Letter to You 4 at 10 p.m. last night. Like exactly 10 p.m. last night I finished it. Overall, though, I was I got very excited for Trip at Night once I started to realize that Trippie Red was actually much more talented than I give him credit for. So while I don't like Neon Shark vs. Pegasus, I'm sorry for slandering him because he is quite the talented artist. And Miss the Rage has got to be my most played trap song of the day, of at least the summer. Okay, so I was very excited for this album. There's also a ton of things in this album that was very exciting to me. Like, there was a great feature list. You had Ski Mask the Slump God, Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion. Overall, it was very exciting to me, and in general, I was just really excited to see this album. Also, who is also on this album? Drake was going to be on it, but he's not on it now. I really want to hear that. I really want to hear him over it. Anyway, Trip at Night, let's review it. The opening track is Molly Hearts, which I quite enjoy. It has a quite fun, bouncy, catchy sound. The moment I heard this track, I was like, all right, this is going to be quite the crazy but fun album, and that's pretty much what I got. This track was catchy and enjoyable. Overall, it's very enjoyable intro. Not one of my favorites on the album. I found most of the tracks pretty more enjoyable, but I like it for what it is. MP5 is a lot of fun. I really like Sofago on this track. He had a very fun verse. It was just a very fun track. I like the style he goes with on this album because it's a lot of rage beats. And rage beats are something that I have not always adored, but they've grown on me quite a lot. A Whole Lot of Red, I consider that rage album, and I wasn't a big fan of A Whole Lot of Red when it came out, as you guys know, but I went back and re-reviewed it to find that I find that album a blast of an album and a really good time, and I think it made me change a lot of my perspective on Playboi Carti as an artist quite a lot. Overall, it was just a ton of fun. So that's kind of where my turn of rage beats came from. But overall, I never really disliked them. I just disliked the way rappers used them. But this album definitely uses rage beats very well. MP5 is quite the fun track. Finish Line's pretty fun, but the biggest criticism I would give, and I think anyone's been giving this album, is the beats do all sound very similar, but and this isn't really a big issue for the album. I was able to really get past that and just have fun with it. But Finish Line is an example where the beat to Finish Line is so similar to the beat to MP5. It's to this point where I can barely tell you the difference between the tracks, except for the Sofago verse. Overall, I feel like this would have been better in Deluxe. I like it. It's not a bad track to an extent. It just It's so similar to MP5 to the point where it's a little annoying. Holy Smokes is a good track, but I wish it was better. First of all, the cover art was amazing. Loved the single cover art. But the reason why I say I wish it was amazing is because I love Lil Uzi Vert, and I really wanted to hear a great Trippie Red Lil Uzi Vert Rage track. But it ends up just being pretty fun. It has I like the beat a lot. It's a little more held back than the other tracks, but I guess just for me, nothing about it really strikes me as incredible. It's just pretty fun. When I first heard it, it was like I literally had no opinion on it. I was like, I don't really care. But it's grown on me a bit, but I'm still not crazy about it. And honestly, this album does borderline go into the territory of being kind of cringy in terms of like the vocals. It doesn't really get there much. Most tracks just stay on the borderline of being really fun. But this is a track where when he uses the vocals, but I still can't buy love, it's like, okay, it's a little hard to take it seriously, but it's still a fun track. Next we got Supercell, which to be perfectly honest, I had the biggest smile on my mouth when I heard this track. Because I'll say this, but I'm not someone who listens to leaks and barely listens to snippets. And this isn't a lazy thing. It's mostly just because I want to hear albums in their full. But being on TikTok has a very much an enjoyment for rage tracks. And I had heard the opening of Supercell months before this, and I had no idea it was a Trippie Red track, and I just always heard that intro and then the what the fuck, like I'd always known that intro, and I was like, oh, it's fun. And then when it came on this album, I was like, holy shit, that's that song. And then I went back and I found out that like the snippets like initially from like June, I think, or June or like May, and I was like, oh my god, that's really cool. So overall, that was really what. And then at the end of the day, it's just a really fun track with one of the most fun turned up energies of any track. Overall, really fun. I'm definitely going to be replaying this track a lot. I think it was quite the fun track. Miss the Rage, I did not review when it came out, and I kind of wish I did because it was a very big track when it came out. And well, look, I'll say it like this. The Mario Judah hook would have been perfect because I'm not the biggest Mario Judah fan to any extent, but that Mario Judah hook, what the fuck, it is so good. The delivery is amazing. If you have not heard Mario Judah's I Miss the Rage, please look it up. It is amazing. But I will have to add that the version we get on here, I can't complain. It is pretty fun to me. I feel like it has definitely my favorite beat on the album. This beat, I did not hear the snippet when it came out. And if I did, I didn't think much of it. But when I heard this track, I was instantly like, okay, that is a great beat. The beat is turned up, exciting, energetic. While Trippie and Playboy don't really do anything amazing on it, it's just overall a really fun track. I quite enjoy Playboy Cardi's verse. He fit perfectly over the track. I'm happy that fans requested it and he gave it to us because I just felt like, fans perfectly know, okay, this track would do great with Playboy Cardi and he does great with it. Honestly, I except for the exception of maybe not playing in Sky, this beat would probably be my favorite beat on a Whole Lot of Red. But both Playboy and Cardi and Trippie Red are just very enjoyable on this track. And overall, it's a track I've heard quite a lot this summer, but I quite enjoy it for what it is. Honestly, I think I like this more than Interlude. And there was that night where Interlude and this dropped, and it was like this competition of who had the better, and Lay, which I think this is my favorite of those three. This we got Supernatural, which is pretty fun, has very fun, turned up vocals. Which Trippie Red murders the vocals on this. His vocals are the best thing I think on this whole album. They're so good. And he has absolutely fun over this. I will have to admit though, the pill vocals, I can understand why someone would be annoyed by them, but I enjoy them, but I get why someone would be annoyed by them. Demon Time is a solid track. It is much better than anything on the Sin City mixtape by Ski Mask. Ski Mask had a lot of fun on this track. I really liked it. Overall, it's fun. It was kind of what I expected, but I enjoy it for what it was. Very fun track here. Matt Hardy 999 though. So I want to know, was this track made during Juice's life? Cause this shit's awesome. Like it's actually it's the best Juice WRLD posthumous verse I've heard all year. Cause the competition's not that heavy. There's not been a ton of great posthumous Juice WRLD material this year. But it was honest. And also, by the way, I feel like The Party Never Ends is coming next Friday. I don't know, but I think so. They said it was coming by September. And it's August 27th, next Friday, last Friday of this summer. So But overall, really great track. Everything was just done super well in this. Trippie, or Juice just had such a fun, hard verse on this, which is why I would really call Juice one of the best feature artists of the past decade. You heard tracks like 1400 and 1400 freestyle, and you hear tracks like Nuke Town. This guy has some of my favorite trap features, at least in the past couple of years. I mean, this is a great feature. He had so much fun in this. His vocals were fun, but hard. Overall, I just enjoyed the hell out of this track. Easily a highlight for me. Vibes is another highlight. I don't know why. This track hit super well for me, though. The beat was just so good. And Trippie just absolutely murdered it with just fun, catchy, energetic vocals. Overall, I don't even have to describe it. This track is just so much fun to me. New Money is another track I really enjoy off here. It's just fun, enjoyable. The vocals are just great. Overall, I enjoy the hell out of it. Danny Phantom is a really solid track, but I get why people are so mad about the track. And let me break it down like this. I have not heard Ghost Town or whatever. There's a track with Ski Mask, X, and Trippie called Ghost Town, which is this track but with a different beat. I quite like this track. I'd never heard Ghost Town, and I'm just happy to hear X's voice on a track in 2021. Just in general, I love X so much that I'm just happy to hear that. But I get why that would piss people off. And as someone who never listens to leaks and has never heard that track, I get why people are annoyed by that one. So overall, it's pretty fun, though. I enjoyed it as a track. And beyond the Ghost Town thing, I'll listen to the track, and I'll tweet about if I do think it is better and if I wish that was on the album instead. But there obviously can be sample clearings and reasons that maybe it just couldn't have gone on the album. But whatever the case is, I like Danny Phantom as a track. Space Time is fun as hell. I really enjoy it as a track. It's not amazing, but it's solid. I would say the same about Baki and iPhone, honestly. Baki is not one of my favorites here. I like it. It's fun. It just doesn't have one of the most engaging beats for me. iPhone's pretty fun. It's not amazing, but it's fun. It's nice, uplifting. I like it. Rich Motherfucker is super great, though. I actually was very blown away by how much fun this track was. The piano beat, as tired as I am of Polo G piano beats, I really like this. This is a great piano beat. And on top of that, Lil Durk and Polo G were just very fun over this track. Polo G specifically, I honestly think his performance on this track was better than the performance on anything on Hall of Fame. He was just so like energetic and ready to go on this verse. And same with Lil Durk, they both just killed it. I feel like this rage beat, but also kind of feeling like it didn't really go, like, not nearly as much of a rage beat as Supercell or Mr. Rage, but just going in this, like, it's a rage beat, but it's much more much more pulled back to just being a trap beat. And I just feel like the beat somehow brought the best out of Polo G and Lil Durk to create a seriously fun track. Captain Crunch has been called the worst track on this album. Might have to agree, because I find this the least interesting track. There's a ton of features on it, and I can't even tell you the name of anyone. None of them are really interesting. It's okay, it's nice, it's fun, but definitely could have been better. But when we're looking at Trip at Night as an album, fuck yeah. This album was tons of fun. I know there are things about it, like, okay, it is kind of, it's kind of repetitive. The beat-wise, yeah, the beats do get a little repetitive. It's hard to deny that. But at the end of the day, I feel like just Trippie Redd did this sound very well. He just had fun on every track. And if I look at this album as a whole, yeah, I can say it was a little repetitive, but did I not absolutely just have a great time on all 47 minutes? Even tracks I'm not crazy about, like Baki and Captain Crunch, I still had fun with those tracks. There's no track on sound that wasn't fun. And there are tracks like Vibes and Supercell that just put a smile on my face and how much fun I was having. It's not nearly as fun as A Love Letter to You 3, which felt like 20 minutes, but was like solid 43 minutes. But at the end of the day, Trip at Night is just a really fun album. And at the end of the day, it blows either Pegasus album out of the water. It is much better than A Love Letter to You 4. It's honestly my favorite Trippie Redd project since A Love Letter 3. And I might have to say I like this more than Life's a Trip. I never have been that much of a fan of Life's a Trip, though. I like it quite a lot, but I've never been, oh my god, I never thought Life's a Trip is one of the best Trippie Redd projects. But at the end of the day, Trip at Night, really fun shit right here. I'm giving this a solid A-. I had a great time with this. I honestly think this is my new favorite trap album of the year. I enjoy it more than, what I think the previous ones were. I don't know. I think it was Voice of the Heroes was my favorite, which as much as I really like that album, I definitely am going to be playing Trip at Night more. And I definitely have more fun with Trip at Night. Also, A Voice of the Heroes is as repetitive as Trip at Night is, if not more repetitive. And I get the whole thing that people are saying, like, Hall of Fame was so repetitive, but y'all trashed it for that. But Trip at Night is repetitive and you won't trash it for it. Yeah, Hall of Fame was pretty repetitive in a bad sound. Like, Hall of Fame was a repetitive album, but it was... repetitive albums are inherently bad. Like, you look at Illmatic right there, it's not like every track on Illmatic's beat sounds vastly different than the last one. Or 1999. Come on, 1999 is not the most diverse album in terms of sound. But that's not what makes albums great, is not that every beat sounded different. And while, yeah, Trip at Night is much more repetitive than Illmatic or anything like that, it's not comparable to Illmatic in quality. But with Hall of Fame, it's repetitive in a bad sound. And also, Hall of Fame is... actually not a ton longer, but it's longer than Trip at Night. Much more boring than Trip at Night. Much more unfinished. At the end of the day, I will say that there is a side of me that's like, maybe Trippie Redd was a little rushed on Trip at Night. There's just elements of it that do feel a little messy to me. And the fact that the Drake track isn't on this does prove to me that this album was definitely finished like a week or two ago. But at the end of the day, what do we got? Quite fun. And I think it's my new second favorite Trippie Redd project. Yeah, what do you guys think of Trip at Night? You love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. Nato Phase 3 in the description. We're going to get a blonde review out tonight. Peace out. Bye. Also, I might discuss the new Kendrick album. I don't know. Bye.